Hello everybody and welcome back. This is part 3 of today's video and today's date is April 30th of 2020. So I want to tell everyone that I made a mistake in part 1 and part 2 about the date. The actual date is April 30th of 2020. So uh, Unit 8 from starting from page 96 for part 1 and 2, the actual date is April 30th of 2020. And I hope you don't get confused with the date anymore. So one last time, uh, where we started Unit 8, the actual date is April 30th of 2020. Not 2000, not 28th, okay? Not 28th, but it's actual 30th. April 30th. Okay, so now we'll begin with part 3 of the video, which is page 98 of your student book in Unit 8, Lesson B. Let's begin. So in part 1, I talked about simple past the B. So simple, 1 second. Simple past the B. And then here I mentioned that for pronouns such as I, he, she, and it, we have to use the word was, the be verb was. And for the pronouns you, we, and they, we have to use be verb were. So down here we have a bunch of examples. So for example, when we start with pronoun you, we have to use were. So when we ask question, were you a student? And when we answer, we have to say yes, I was. And if we take a look at the pronoun I goes to was. And then if it was no, it would be I wasn't. And then we have to explain what our occupation was. So it will be here, it says I was a teacher. Was he a student? Yes, he was. No, he wasn't. He was a teacher. Was she a student? Yes, she was. No, she wasn't. She was a teacher. Were you students? Yes, we were. So here, pronoun is you, so we have to use were. But if you look at the student, it's plural. It's more than one. So when we respond, we have to say we. The pronoun changes to we because they're. And then if we use pronoun we have to go use the be verb were. And then if it's a no, no, we weren't. We were teachers. And same thing. The teachers has to be plural too because there's it's asking about more than one person about it. And then finally, were they students? Yes, they were. No, they weren't. They were teachers. See, this is pretty easy, right? And then the wasn't is the was not, the negative form of was. Weren't is it's the same thing as were not, which is the negative form of were. So now let's look at exercise 2. Practice. Look at the pictures, complete the sentences, use is, are, was, or were. So let's just look at these pictures first. I'm just going to read it out loud. Job history for Amy Cho. 2010, from 2010 to present, nurse. From 2005 to 2010, teacher. So here we have a sentence. Let's see. She was a teacher before. Now she is a nurse. Okay, that's correct. So from 2005 to 2010, her occupation or job was a teacher. And from 2010 to now, so right now she's a nurse. So here is a job history, and then here we have job application, employment history. So these are things that we see on a resume. So resume is something, it's like a summary of what we have done as an individual at a job. So I could have been a teacher for like from uh, like 2010 to 2014, and on from 2014 to 2019, I could have been a chef, right? So I'm just so it's just a list of what you did throughout your life in a way toward for your job, right? For your work experience. So here we have job application. This is Jane's experience. Um, so from 2010 to 2015, she was a cashier, and then 2015 to present, she's a manager right now. So here we have to say, because it's present, so we have to say is. She is a manager now, and with the pronoun she, we have to use was. She was a cashier. Ooh, let me try this one. Employment history. They blank. Number 3, they blank students before. Now they blank electricians. So students, if we look at here, students was in they were students in the past. So they is plural, so we have to say past. They were. Now, right now, present. Present is right now, so we have to use are and are. They were students before, now they're electricians. Okay. Okay. So number 4, he blank a server before, now blank a construction worker. So let's see, a server. So the person named Ben Liao, Ben is a male, so we have to use he. From 2005 to 2009, he was a server. So we have to say was. Now, so we're talking about present time, from 2009 to present right now. Now, he is. So we have to make sure the pronoun matches. And then right now we're talking about present time. So it has to be is, not was. Number 5, he blank a server before, now blank a nursing assistant. So in the past, he was a server. So he was. For the be verb, we have to say was. And we're talking about the same pronoun, so now he. And we're talking about right now, the present time. So his job occupation right now is nursing assistant because it says 2017 to present. So he is a nursing assistant. Number 6. So now we're talking about 2 people together, Sarah and Raul Lopez. So now, so we're talking about right now, present time. Now they are. So if we look at their work experience, they're right now at present, they're managers. So now they are managers. Hold on a sec. It's hard to write with this. So Managers. Oops. Yeah, this is not working. Okay, here we go. It's they, so it has to be plural. So managers, and then blank blank cooks before. So pronouns they, so we just say the same thing. They. But we're talking about the past. So we have to say they were. They were cooks before. Okay. Alright, let me go back a bit. Hold on a second. Okay, so now and then let's try to listen and see if they're hear their pronunciations. Okay.
Page 98. Exercise 2A. Track 22. 1.
She was a teacher before.
Now she is a nurse.
2.
She is a manager now.
She was a cashier before.
Three.
They were students before.
Now they are electricians.
4.
He was a server before.
Now he is a construction worker.
5.
He was a server before.
Now he is a nursing assistant.
6.
Now they are managers.
They were cooks before.
Okay. Now that we finished listening to the audio, so we use these simple passive be verbs to kind of we use them to tell about our job occupations right now and what our job slash occupations were in the past. Okay, so these are some useful verbs. Be verbs to remember the rules behind them. Now let's do page 99. So now let's do exercise 2B. Let me read this. Talk with a partner, look at the pictures, change the bold words, and make conversations. So number 1 here we see a student, and it looks like a teacher because it based on the picture they're at a classroom setting and they have tables and kids. So yeah, I think this is about a teacher. So question is, was she a teacher? And based on the picture we can say yes, she was. So number 2 here, it looks like she's a nurse or a doctor. Okay, but number 2 is it says receptionist. So and then there are 2 of them. So we have to say for questions, were they receptionists? No, they weren't. They were nurses. Okay, so receptionist, as I told you, for someone who makes schedules, appointments to meet with doctors. Okay, so number 3. Here, let's see. It looks like they're at some kind of a restaurant because there are customers ordering some kind of food, and I think this is a server. So for a question, we have to say, was he a server? And then since the answer is yes, I can say yes, he was. So here, let me do this. So A, was he a server? And based on the picture, he was. So yes, he was. That's what we would want to say and write. Was he a server? Yes, he was. And number 4, based on the picture, they don't seem like doctors. They look like an electrician, I feel. So let's one sec. Oh, okay. So if I were to ask a question, were they doctors? And I would answer as no, they weren't. They were electricians. So I'm gonna write down, were they doctors? No, they weren't. They were electricians. It's talking about more than one person because they're talking about were they, the pronouns they. So for your job occupation as well, you need to make sure that they're in a plural form, not a singular. Plural. So it has to have an S. Okay. So based on this picture, does he look like a cook? So I would ask, was he a cook? And then yeah, there's a kitchen. This is a kitchen. I see. I think this is a vegetable. He's wearing an apron, so I think he's a cook. So for the question, you say, was he a cook? And then for the answer, yes, he was. And finally, number 6. This picture is asking about if her occupation is a cashier. And I see, yeah, I think so. This is a store. And then I think she's about to take some money out of this cashier. So cashier machine. So was she? It's a she this time. A cashier. We say yes, she was. Right? Pretty easy, huh? Perfect. Now let's do the last one. Exercise 3. Talk with 3 classmates. Complete the chart. So I'm just gonna read this. A. Sylvia, what do you do now? Now? I'm a homemaker. Oh really? Were you a homemaker before? No, I wasn't. I was a receptionist in a bank. So, um, this is a useful conversation to have when you're asking someone about their uh, occupation in the past and in the future. So, when you ask about a job, you can say, "What do you do now?" It's the same thing as "What's your job?" So, if you, yeah, right here, the same thing. Or, "What's your occupation?" So there are 3 ways of asking for what their occupation or job. Okay, so what do you do now? What's your job? And what's your occupation? So this is so So if someone, let's say there's a person named Dan, okay? So I would ask, hey Dan, what do you do now? Or I could say, hey Dan, what's your occupation? And then he can say, now I am a an engineer. Oh really? Were you an engineer before? And if it's a no, I say, no, I wasn't. I was a student uh, at a university. Or yes, I was. See? So Dan a an engineer. Oops. Let's do it this. Yeah. It's hard to write with this. Sorry. Yeah. So there was a slight interruption with the recording system. So going back to it, as I said before, here, let's say we have a person named Dan, and he's an engineer right now. And then before it was he was also an engineer. So if I were to ask Dan, so Dan, what do you do now? And he will say, now I'm an engineer. Oh really? Were you an engineer before? Here it says job before as an engineer, so I was like, yes, I was. And you can just end it there. And as I said before, there are three ways of asking about uh, the person's job. So what do you do now? What's your job? What's your occupation? So that's it for part 3 of today's video, April 30th of 2020. Thanks for watching.